Hey friends, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to another Philippine travel update. I'm back, yes. To those of you who don't know, I was hospitalized last Friday. A lot of you ask, is it COVID? Thankfully, it's not COVID. I just had a terrible stomach ache. Yeah. I was worried, guys, that baka hindi ako ma-admit because hospitals in the Philippines are really strict, guys. Even if you don't have COVID symptoms, they will not let anyone get admitted into the hospital immediately. So in my case, I had to get tested first because before I could be treated. Same with my companion, my mother. So we had to get tested before we could be allowed to be admitted. Thankfully, it was just antigen tests. So we had to wait outside the hospital for almost an hour. Antigen test plus x-ray. But anyways, now I'm fine. Thank you so much for your wishes, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm back. What's the update on Philippine travel? Are there any changes? I'm just gonna cut it short. There is no change on the quarantine days. Quarantine is still required upon arrival. The entry restriction, who is allowed and who is not allowed, is still the same. If you're updated with the cases in the Philippines, oh my gosh, guys, it's very alarming. It's very, very high. But anyways, on some other note, 95% of the tourism workers in the National Capital Region in Metro Manila are fully vaccinated. But for now, since NCR, Manila is on MECQ, tourism is not allowed, non-essential travelers are not allowed in Manila, guys. But don't worry, if you are traveling abroad, no, it's okay. You are considered an essential travel, so your travel will not be hampered or will not be restricted. Moving forward, the Philippines has approved emergency use of Sputnik Light. Wow. The Sputnik Light is a single-dose vaccine. It's a Russian vaccine from the same institute with Sputnik, Gamaleya Institute. But speaking of vaccines, they may be commercially available by 2022, according to the FDA. Whatever the case is, vaccination is free in the Philippines. I keep on seeing on Facebook, where can I buy vaccine? Huh? Well, apparently there are some illegal activities. People are selling vaccines. Naku po, please don't buy vaccines in the Philippines, guys. You don't know what they're putting in those vials. Please don't. According to the National Task Force, the Philippine government is to build its own local vaccine manufacturing facilities. They are already being talked about, and some government agencies are planning on it, on building their own vaccination facilities here. The target is to build it by 2022. Vaccine deliveries may go up in the next 2 months, and I will not be surprised if later this year there will be mandates in which only vaccinated people can enter malls or travel. I will not be surprised if that happens. We've seen it in other countries. And we know that President Duterte has already made it clear that he's very pro-vaccine and mandating it, diba? DOH confirms that there may be local transmission of Delta. Not surprising. DOH, do you think we're fools? We know there's local transmission from the very first day. Even before that Delta was discovered, we know that it's already here. Come on, don't fool us. I still don't understand though, with the numbers of Delta variants in the country, why are we still restricting 11 countries? There are countries with more Delta variants, pero it seems like the Philippines has no plan to lift the restrictions on Filipinos from the 11 countries. Well, there are many bayanihan flights, repatriation flights, so what's the difference with a regular commercial flight, diba? They can always just limitahan na lang yung commercial flight. At least, hindi siya bayanihan flight na masyadong mahal. Ginawa ng first class. Okay, so ibig sabihin, yung mga ka-afford lang talaga makauwi, guys. Kawawa naman yung mga kababayan nating years and years na nagtrabaho sa abroad. They just have that one time na makauwi sa Pinas. And it's not fair to say na, oy, kulang yung mga hotels. Well, that's not fair because Filipinos from other countries, they can freely go home if they want to, just as long as may flight, di ba? So, it's not fair na sabihin, kasi kulang yung hotel, di ba? It should be a shared problem by all. We've seen other countries are even easing restriction on India na nga. And even if you look at the cases on UAE, still don't get it. But anyways, guys, let's touch the advisory of the Department of Tourism. Okay. I've been asked this question a lot. What if I get positive? What if I turn positive while on quarantine? Well, the Department of Tourism has given us these clear guidelines. This was addressed to the all quarantine hotels, okay? Alright. So if you're qualified for green lanes po, you already know. If you're vaccinated in the Philippines or if you're coming from a green country, you can avail a shorter quarantine of only 7 days. But po, if you're qualified, please have your vaccination certificate verified sa airport. Kung hindi po yan ma-verify, hindi ka po makakuha ng shorter quarantine. And we've seen it, no? I've seen reports of our kababayans traveling with children. This one is coming from NIMS. She's fully vaccinated. She was coming from Australia. Mag-asawa, but hindi sila pinayagan ng 7 days quarantine because they have a baby and the baby is not vaccinated. Like her. Another kababayan also shared, same country pa din, Australia. They have a 2-year-old daughter. They're not qualified for the 7 days quarantine since the baby is not fully vaccinated. If you're green lanes po and if you have been exposed or if you have been close contact of a COVID positive person, hindi na po 7 days, kundi magiging 14 days po yung quarantine ninyo. Kung hindi ka qualified for green lanes, even if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, but if you're coming from, let's say, USA, UK, Saudi Arabia, Canada, Japan, no, these countries are not covered by green lanes, so 10 days quarantine po talaga yan. But what if nag-positive ka on the 7th day testing? What is the rule? No, the rule is that additional 10 days quarantine. Plus, you will be transferred immediately at a COVID isolation facility. Day, nag-positive ka on day 8 plus 10. So, magiging 18 days po yung quarantine nyo. So, really guys, if you develop symptoms, on your 2nd day, you lost your sense of taste, smell, you had fever, get tested immediately. If it's negative, all good. If it's positive, ay naku po, they will count. Okay, for example, you got tested today. Tomorrow will be the day 1, plus 10. Pero kapag nagpa-test ka talaga sa 7th day, plus 10, ako, magiging halos 18 days na yung quarantine mo. So much better, if you develop symptoms, get tested. This is why it's really much better, that even if before travel to the Philippines, get tested. Seriously, if you positive po and you're only coming to the Philippines for a vacation, your vacation is ruined. While those coming from the travel restricted countries, 11 countries, non-negotiable, 14 days quarantine in the hotel. While if you turn out positive, additional 14 days quarantine. Sobrang 20 days po yung quarantine pag na-positive po kayo. Moving forward, for our foreigners holding visas in the Philippines, the immigration announced that they are launching automated travel control system or alien certificate registration I-card checking system for alien passengers. So, holders po of ACR are issued to BI registered foreigners who are holders of immigrant and non-immigrant visas. Immigration Commissioner said that this project will soon be piloted or tested in NAIA Terminal 3. They're expecting for full implementation by September. Use technology for less paper, less requirements. You know what, guys, the immigration law in the Philippines is an 80-year-old law. 1940 pa po. That is all the update for today. Today is August 23. I hope you're all doing well, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have anything to share about travel to the Philippines, comment down below. Help each other. Sharing is caring. Information is power. Knowledge is power. For those traveling to the Philippines soon, God bless. And always be prepared financially, emotionally. I will see you again with another update. Stay safe and God bless. Bye-bye.